Hey guys, I'm Deepthi Desikan and today's video is going to be something that I've been meaning to film for almost 2 months. I have already filmed this in the past and the footage turned out to look so bad that I had to trash it altogether and do it all over again. So today's video is going to be again a half and half. So on one side we have makeup that is more or so catered towards people with oily skin, and on this side we have makeup that is catered towards people with dry skin, normal skin. You can use it both ways because I have normal to dry skin, and these are the makeup products that I vouch for and stand by. So these were the products that were recommended to me by my subscribers. I posted on my community page. I asked you guys products that you like if you have oily skin, and I asked you guys for products that you like if you have dry skin. So I've tried to make a concoction of the products you mentioned and something that I feel would deem fit for a certain skin type. So that's everything you're going to be seeing in today's video. Yeah. Did I have to give you guys so much of an intro? Maybe I did, but let's get into the video. So firstly, I start prepping my skin with the Face Shop serum and the Sugandha moisturizer because I have dry skin. Irrespective of if I'm going to be doing it for oily skin or dry skin, I need to prep my skin a certain way. And my dark circles, my pigmentation, everything is on another level right now because I'm just recovering. Now, another step that I used is the Color Bar Cellular Dry Oil. Now, this product is specific for people with dry skin. If you have oily skin, do not use this product because it can make your foundation, your skin look a little bit too oily. But because I'm going to be using products that are not catered towards my skin, I'm just prepping it up just a little bit so that I don't dry my skin out. And now for color corrector, I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Orange. Now, this can work across skin types, irrespective of if you have dry skin or oily skin. Now moving on to primer for oily skin type, there was one primer that was highly recommended. This one was the Insight Cosmetics 3-in-1 primer. This is like a clear primer and it is said to be oil free as well, but I don't quite like this primer on my skin type, and I found something else that is a little bit more better than that. So this one is a Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Primer. You can most certainly try this primer out because it actually blurs your pores and it mattifies your skin, and also doesn't let the oil seep through that fast, and quite affordable as well, especially if you can find this one on discount. So I do have a little bit of pores right here and it did fill it up pretty well and makes your skin appear a little bit more smoother. And for dry skin, of course, I have my Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth Primer. This is such a nice thick emollient primer for people with dry skin. It does hydrate your skin to a great extent and I love this. One thing you can keep in mind with both the primers is that little goes a long way. You actually don't really need to use a lot. Just a pea-sized amount of it is enough. You can see that both the side, this one is a little bit more dewy, a little bit more illuminating, so it can kind of emphasize the texture on your skin as opposed to this side where it is mattifying it. Now, one thing I feel like people with oily skin do is that they avoid products that give you a little bit of glow, like say a strobe cream or something like that. I'm not saying everyone does this. Maybe if you're starting off, you think that those kind of products wouldn't work for your skin. But I have a illuminating product right here. This is the Color Bar Spotlight Illuminating Lotion. This one adds a very subtle glow to your skin and it's not very dewy, so it wouldn't like make your skin look a little bit too oily or anything of that sort. It does contain a pink shift to it, but you can see it adds a very subtle glow to your skin, but it's not very luminous looking and it's not very dewy in terms of the finish as well. It is a little bit of a mattifying finish. And on this side for dry skin, I have the Sugar Bling Illuminating Moisturizer. This one is in the shade Pink Trippin'. They have about 2 to 3 variants in this. You can choose whichever one you like, but the Color Bar one has just one variant. Now this side is looking a little bit more glowy, a little bit more dewy, and this one has a little bit of glow, but it's not looking oily or greasy on the skin. Now moving on to foundations for the oily skin type. The first one that was recommended was the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I do agree this is an amazing foundation for people with oily skin, especially if you find your exact shade match. It holds up for a really long time. It doesn't really melt away from your face no matter what the weather is, and it stays in place and it looks really nice. For me, I need to do a lot of steps to pull this one off. Like you have to go very heavy-handed with the Color Bar Cellular Dry Oil and a lot of glowy products to pull this one off. So I'm not going to be using this in today's video because the shade match in this is very bad for me. Like this one is in the shade Bronze Beige. It's mentioned that it is for people with medium tan skin tones, but it's a little bit too light for my skin. So I need to get the shade up Desert Beige, and I cannot find it in stock anywhere. I'm not very sure what the problem with Wet n Wild products are. They are not being restocked that often. So another suggestion that I got from you guys is the Lakme 9 to 5 Primer Plus Matte foundation. So this one I have a pretty decent shade match for myself. This is again a really nice foundation for people with combination oily skin type, and I have this one in the shade 300C Cool Cinnamon. It comes with an applicator like this. So blending it with the Plume sponge. As you can see, it is a pretty good match for me, and I really like how this foundation looks on my skin. It's not like too cakey matte, and it's not like sucking out the moisture from my face like the Wet n Wild foundation does. It's not emphasizing texture, and it's just staying in place really well. And the other best part about this foundation is it has pretty good coverage. I just took very little amount of it, and it gave me pretty good medium coverage, and I'm going to be leaving it at this. When I asked people with dry skin what are their favorite foundations to use, a lot of people mentioned that the LA Girl Pro Coverage Long Wear Illuminating Foundation is one of their favorite foundations. This is of course one of my favorite foundations as well. It's a really nice medium coverage foundation. It's a very illuminating foundation without glitter particles, without shimmer particles in the foundation. It has a really nice dewy look to the skin. Now this is actually a pretty good match for my skin tone, but I feel like this is giving that warmth, so it's making this foundation look a little bit like lighter. But anyways, can you see that dewy finish that it has? Now for concealer for people with oily skin, this was the one that was mostly recommended, and it was recommended for people with dry skin as well. So it is the Wet n Wild concealer and the Swiss Beauty liquid concealer. These two were the most highly recommended concealers. I'm going to be using this on the oily skin side. I'm not a very big fan of the Wet n Wild concealer because I feel like it doesn't give me that much coverage, and it doesn't really last well underneath my eye. Mixing it up just a little bit with the Swiss Beauty concealer as well. And then for people with dry skin, there were two concealers that were highly recommended: the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser Concealer and the LA Girl Pro Conceal HD Concealer. I'm not denying that both of these are amazing concealers. The Maybelline one is a little bit darker for me. The LA Girl one is a pretty decent concealer, but I have something else that I could recommend to you guys because I have sort of normal to dry skin type, and I can tell you guys what works and what doesn't work for my skin. So I really like the Sugar Magic Wand waterproof concealer. It's a really nice lightweight concealer. It does give you a pretty good coverage, like a medium coverage. Or if you want something a little bit more higher in coverage, you can try out the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. This is one of my favorite concealers. It's a really nice concealer. It does crease quite a lot because it is of a very, very creamy consistency. You have to keep that in mind. So if you don't really like concealer settling in your line and everything, which is quite common, it is quite natural that it happens. But if that irks you, you can try out the Sugar Concealer. But in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the Milani Concealer. So you can see that this concealer has a little bit more of a dewy finish as opposed to this one, where it is kind of settled down to be a matte finish. But you can see the coverage of the Milani concealer is slightly more than the one on this side. And then to set the concealer on both the sides, this was the one that was highly suggested by people of both skin types. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. You can use this irrespective of your skin type, but if you have dry skin, I would suggest use it with a little bit of a lighter hand. Use it sparingly. And then now for cream bronzer contour product, I am using this ITEX Dazzler contour stick. I think you can use this irrespective of your skin type. So I'm going to be using this on both the sides. And then for blush, there was one that was recommended the most. That is the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in the shade Mellow Wine. Now this, I'm going to be using it on the other side where I want to show it for people with oily skin. This is an amazing blush. It's a very long wearing blush. You can of course use this even if you have dry skin. But I have another product that I want to use as well. And then for this side, I'm going to be using the Maybelline lipstick in the shade Toasted Brown. This is one of my favorite blushes to use. I feel like it gives you a really nice glowy finish on the face. And then for highlighter, which can be common on both the sides, this one is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in the shade Precious Petals. You can use this again if you have dry skin or oily skin type. But in today's video, I'm going to be using it on this side because for this side, I have another highlighter that I want to show you guys. For the other side, I have the Nykaa Strobe Glow highlighter. This one is in the shade Glazed Bronze. It doesn't contain any sort of chunky shimmer particles to it. You can go a little bit overboard and it'll look like really wet, dewy looking on the skin, or you can keep it very subtle like how I did today. To set my base on this side, I'm going to be using the Sugar Grand Finale Setting Mist in the matte variant. Setting spray suggestion was not specific, so I picked out whatever I had in my collection that was mattifying. So I feel like it is quite a bit of a mattifying spray. And on this side, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Natural Finish Setting Spray. This is one of my favorite setting sprays. It gives a really nice glow to the skin as well. It's a really nice setting spray. I'm almost out of this. You can see that this side has a little bit of a glow because that's how the setting spray is. And this one is like mattified right now. So that's pretty much all the products I wanted to demo to you guys. So I'm going to finish up my makeup, like the eyes, the eyebrows, everything off camera, lipstick, and I'll be back. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Those were all the products that I wanted to recommend to you guys. Now let me know your favorite products and your skin type in the comment section down below. I'm pretty sure it would help a lot of people. Now before I end this video, I want to mention one thing is how you learn that certain products work for you, if it's going to cater to your skin type, is through trial and error, no matter what anybody recommends, because each one's skin type is different. And even if you have oily skin, maybe your skin reacts differently to different products. So it is a game of trial and error, but once you find your favorite products, there's no looking back. But these sort of videos are of course a suggestion, maybe giving you guys an idea about the products in the market. So in case some of this doesn't suit your skin type, don't get offended. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And I see you guys in my next one. Bye.